In this video, we're going to show you how to install the brake caliper and bracket on your Volvo XC90 located behind your front wheels. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to loosen and remove our lug nuts. And if you have a locking key, go ahead and use that. Let's go ahead and remove your wheel. Remove it and set it aside. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and loosen and remove the two bolts. These are 18mm, one on the bottom, one on the top, and we're going to remove the whole caliper and bracket all together. Now we are also going to disconnect the flex hose here from the unit, and brake fluid is going to continuously leak out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and break these bolts free, and we're going to spin them out a good portion of the way, but we're going to leave them in a few threads to secure everything. Get them to the point where they're nice and finger tight. Let's see. All right, that's coming out. So just put in just a couple threads. Let's go ahead and do the same for the top. All right, now what we're going to do is continue on by removing our brake flex hose. Now we do want to go ahead and unthread the flex hose here from the caliper itself. Now the only issue here is that this is a fixed unit. It's not using a banjo bolt like some of the other applications may. So as you unthread this here, it's going to twist the flex hose and it's going to cause it to bind up. Now what you're going to do is use your 14mm, and we want to go ahead and break that free. Now we are going to lose some brake fluid. Have a catch can or bucket, anything underneath to catch that fluid. With that free, we're going to simply reach around the back here and remove the caliper bracket bolts. Once this comes free, we're going to remove the whole caliper and bracket assembly, and we're going to unthread it from the flex hose. Yes, it's a cumbersome thing to do. When we reassemble, we'll make it a little bit easier by doing the bracket and the caliper separate. But for the removal, just go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to use my plastic pliers here to go ahead and pinch that flex hose. And that should either stop or slow down that drip here on our fluid. Now, if you're going to be using your old brake pads, you just want to go ahead and pop them out. You can use a screwdriver, slide them out of the caliper bracket, pop them out, set them aside. Now when you receive the component, the caliper and bracket will probably be assembled. So you're just going to go ahead, come over here, remove the plastic caps, pull off the caps, and go ahead and slide the bracket off like so. So grab the bracket, and we want to go ahead and remove the slide pins. We're going to use our number 9 Allen key here to go ahead and remove these slide pins. Set those aside. Go ahead and take the caliper bracket. Go ahead and get one of those bolts started. There we go. I like to go ahead and thread these in as far as I can by hand, if they go in nice and easy. And let's go ahead and snug these down. Now we want to go ahead and torque these down to 77 foot-pounds. Go ahead and thread this on. Now the other way you can do this is disconnect the entire flex hose from the hard line and then thread it on afterwards. But this here is quick and efficient to do it. Now we're just going to set this up on top of the brake rotor assembly and let that rest while we install our brake pads. Now I want to take our outboard pad. Now when you're doing this job, it's highly recommended to use brand new brake pads. I'm going to drop that in just like so, push that outboard pad up against the brake rotor. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some grease inside the boots here. That way when I slide the pins in, that'll lube those up just a little bit. Do the same for the other side. I'm going to take our spring tabs, line this up, and push this on. I'll take this here, I'm going to slide this right over. Now once that's in position, we can now take one of our slide pins and line that up and work that into the boot. I'm going to take the extension and the Allen key from earlier, and we want to go ahead and thread this into position. Once you get one in, I'm going to go ahead and repeat for the bottom. Go ahead and snug these down. You want to get and torque these down to 44 foot-pounds. All right, now we're going to go ahead and release the clamp on our flex hose. Go ahead and tighten down the hard line here. Tighten down our flex hose here to the caliper. Install the plugs here. Now you want to hop into the vehicle, pump up that brake pedal. Make sure that brake pedal is nice and firm. We want to top off the brake fluid underneath the hood, and then we're going to proceed to the gravity bleed process. Before we open up that reservoir, use some spray solvent, clean up around here, and then wipe it down. We don't want to risk getting any dirt or debris inside this reservoir. Turn that counterclockwise, open that up. And I'm going to go ahead and take the appropriate brake fluid for this vehicle and fill it up to the full line. Grab that cap, go ahead and snug it down. Now you want to go ahead and locate the bleeder screw. In most cases, you're going to have a rubber cap on there. Simply pop that off. We're going to be installing that later on. I'm going to use the 11mm wrench. You can use the box end here. And we want to loosen this. We're going to turn it counterclockwise. And what we're going to do is, we can see that we're getting air bubbles coming out right here. What's happening is fluid is running down the flex hose, filling up the back of the piston, and we're burping out any of the air that is in that system right now. Looking for a solid, steady stream of fluid with no air bubbles coming out. Make sure you have a catch can of your bucket underneath. At this point here, we do have a solid stream of fluid coming out, no bubbles. It's going to go ahead and tighten this down. Once that bottoms out, just give it a little bit more. Now go ahead and grab your can of spray solvent and spray this down. Brake fluid is corrosive. Make sure that you get it all cleaned up. Wipe it down. Then go ahead and grab the rubber plug and pop it on. Now you want to hop into the vehicle, pump up the brakes. You want to make sure that it feels nice and firm. It could take 3 to 4 pumps to make that feel nice and firm. Now, for any reason, if it does not firm up, go ahead and repeat this process again. You could do this up to 2 to 3 times for it to actually firm up and get rid of all the air bubbles. Now, if it still doesn't firm up for you, then at that point, you're going to have to proceed to the brake bleeding process for the entire vehicle. Go ahead and grab your wheel. Get that lined up. I'm going to get one of these started here. Get the rest of these started. And once we get them all started, we'll come on back and snug them down. All right, let's go ahead and snug these down gently. All right, let's now go ahead and torque them down. Let's now go ahead and torque down our lug nuts to 103 foot-pounds. When doing this here, it's best to do it in a crisscross or a star pattern. Before performing this job, it's best to be wearing safety glasses and gloves. Now with the hood open, go ahead and locate the master cylinder reservoir. Before you open this, be sure to spray down the reservoir and clean up any debris around the perimeter. Using some spray solvent, and take care of that quickly. Once you're satisfied with the cleanliness there, go ahead and open this up by twisting it counterclockwise. And we do want to go ahead and evacuate the old fluid that is in there. You can go ahead and check and see if there is a filter or something in here that you can remove. Just using your pocket screwdriver, you can go ahead and remove this. Now this has a filter or a screen in it. Go ahead and set that aside. We're going to set up a little container here. And we're going to use a tool here to evacuate the fluid. You can use something like a turkey baster or another similar style vacuum tool. And we want to go ahead and pull out as much of this fluid as possible. Before we continue, you do want to go ahead and dispose of this fluid and get this out of the way so it doesn't spill. Let's now go ahead and fill this all the way up to the top of the reservoir. insert the screen cup here. Close it up. Now our brake bleeding process is going to start at the left front wheel, continuing to the right front, moving to the left rear, and ending at the right rear. All right, now while performing this job, we have someone inside the vehicle that's going to assist us. They're going to go ahead and pump up the brake pedal about 3 to 5 times and then hold pressure. We're then going to open up our bleeder screw and purge out any air bubbles or dirty fluid during this process. We're going to remove our rubber cap. We have our container here. We're going to pop this over. All right, go ahead and pump it up. While they're holding pressure, we're going to use our 11mm wrench and loosen our bleeder screw. All right, it's at the floor. We're going to close it up. You can see the dirty fluid coming out. Go ahead and pump it up. Continue. Go ahead. And we do one more. While performing this job, we're not only looking to evacuate that old dirty fluid, but we're also purging out any air bubbles. This is pretty clean at this point here. We can now remove our containment system. We'll set that over here. Give it a quick spray with some spray solvent because brake fluid is corrosive. Want to make sure we clean that up as best possible. Install the rubber cap. We're going to do the same process for the right front. Before moving to the rear, let's now go ahead and top off the reservoir. All right, here we are at the left rear. Open that cap up. Get our hose on here. And go ahead and pump it up. Pump it up. Go ahead. And one more time. All right, we'll snug that down. Give it a quick spray. Wipe. And cap it. And then we'll go ahead and finish up with the right rear. Now that we're done, we'll go ahead and top off the master reservoir. Now we want to go ahead and install our wheels, and we want to go ahead and torque down the lug studs to 103 foot-pounds.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.